Hani, Bojo, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano. It's Catherine and Brian at Moonstarlodge, and we're here with the reading for the week of January 27th until the 2nd of February. So we have two principal things happening this week. We have a new moon, and I'm just moving something here so I can pull out the exact time. The new moon is on January 29th at 7:37 in the morning. It is the movement from talks with relations to wisdom keeper, a very important grandmother. She is the protectress of the sacred traditions, the keeper of the stone libraries and earth history, the guardian of the remembering and the art of memory, the mother of friendship, planetary unity, and mutual understanding. She teaches us the art of self-development and experience, how to access planetary memory, personal recall, and ancient wisdom and knowledge, how to understand the wisdom that every life form holds and its missions, how to be a friend and to restore friendship by honoring the viewpoints of all life forms. She teaches us how to honor the truth. The keeper of the stone libraries. All crystals hold and record ancient history. And part of her lesson is, if we don't remember our history and keep the stories going and the teachings, we are unfortunately doomed to repeat history. So it's an important grandmother with this wisdom of what she brings us based on last week's reading and also this week's reading. So once again, I'm using the same decks as last week. And if you want to see what those are, I always post a picture every week of the decks in use and the card layout. Or you can just take a quick photo of it from your laptop or phone, whatever. This is an interesting one. So in light of the fact that we have this new moon and we have Imbolc. Imbolc is the ancient Celtic first day of spring. It's also the beginning of the lambing season. It's the first babies that are born. So it's an awareness that things begin to shift. I'm aware of it. I knew about the shifting before I knew what Imbolc was. So this is an interesting time. So let's go to the cards, Brian. So we start out this week with the Knight of Wands. So last week we had the King of Wands in our reading. This week we have the energy of the Knight going after the passion and the fire, keeping up the momentum. As the significator, that's important to know that there's still this ongoing momentum as indicated by last week's reading. So the card that clarifies it is the Ace of Cups, which is an incubating new thing to love. It's an emotional new beginning. The energy of the Knight, of course, is being helped by, or maybe is even aware of the fact that this new incubating thing is, and he's not waiting to know if he's a he. This archetype doesn't wait to know what the energies of this new emotional beginning is. They have faith and are going for it. They're just making that horse run. Once again this week we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is the card of mastery, perseverance, but doing what we love and knowing what we do, that's the objective. This knight is facing this. A mastery of this new beginning emotionally as well. Perhaps we got a little tired of what we were doing, and now we're bringing in some new aspect to make ourselves in a new space. This is an interesting card. This is the Mirage. And the Mirage talks about not letting false influences of the world penetrate this scenario. So we have to keep external, particularly false. It's like false news or clickbait, the spiritual equivalent of clickbait. Keeping it out of the journey that we're on, because this is rock solid. This Mirage is garbage. And moving on, we have now the Empress. So the Empress is the giver of all good things, making sure we are cared for in all possible capacities. Loving, gentle, but strong. She would have to be a strong archetype. And archetypes don't have gender, but it's pictured this way. Knowing that we're cared for by spirit is important. Now, it's clarified by the breath between. The breath between is a concept when you're doing sacred breathing of the holding of the breath between, because it puts us in other dimensions. It's a spiritual expansion. Some cultures refer to it as the little death. It is that moment in sacred breath where we are all at one with Source. So this is an interesting clarifying card for the Empress. The expansion that she brings us can't be thought of as just worldly things like food and clothing and jobs and money and shelter. It's a spiritual experience, and that's connecting us with the other realms where our soul survives. Going next, we have the King of Cups. So this is the master of emotional maturity. And he's followed by the King of Money, or the King of Pentacles. So in 2 weeks, we've had all 4 kings show up in these readings, which I find quite incredible. I don't think I can ever remember that ever happening that way before. So let's come back to the King of Cups. The emotional wisdom, emotional maturity, not the guy to get frustrated and outburst over the tiniest of things, can hold himself steady. Now the kings are external energies, whereas the queens are internal or intrinsic. This king is saying, hold the space and look with wisdom and hold his regalness, royalty, and emotional maturity. It's clarified by Temperance. So Temperance is another major arcana card, and Temperance is, in some decks it's referred to as art, the art of alchemy, art as creation. When you blend colors together, they create something different. This is the alchemizing between the spiritual realms and the earthly realms, the third dimensional realms, the art of living, the art of making a grand life. I asked for clarification, so I pulled a card from the Santa Muerte deck, and I got the 7 of Pentacles. So we've got the 8 and the 7 and we've got the King. This is a card of perseverance. This is the person who's a little bit past being a mentee, who is persevering and working hard. So we need to work hard at our maintaining stability and knowing that when we go off of that and have an internal tantrum or an external tantrum, it's because we're either tired or low blood sugar or have taken on too much. We've put something out of balance. So this is in the center of this reading. This is really the big message. In order for all of this to manifest, we have to stay in balance. So we go to the King of Denarii, which is coins or pentacles, and this is again an externalizing. So the King is again one with wisdom. It's about legacy here. It's about making sure that not only one's own family or one's own self has everything they need in all levels of our material third dimension, but that the community does, and that we're looking out into the world absolutely that way. And it's clarified by the Enchanter card. This is about self-evaluation, awakening, and purpose. So when we're looking at the King here, this King always has purpose. He's got objectives. He's knowing how to hold them and knowing when to fold them, and he knows exactly how to maneuver materially in this third dimension. So this is a purpose card, and the Enchantress or the Enchanter is about bringing us some spiritual support for our legacy. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a sore throat, so needed some coffee after that one. Then we have the Star. So the Star is another major arcana like this card and this card. And hopes, dreams, health, illusion in the negative sense. But because we're surrounded by so much glory here, I see this as hope and health. And it's clarified by Speranza, one of the goddesses of hope. Hope and prayer, and she's in a prayerful stance here. Excuse me, this is so much about making sure when we look to the stars, we're looking to the ancestors and we're looking to Source to help give us the hope and the balance and the art and all of these good things, the perseverance, stamina that we need to make this great creation. Now, here's where I love the old-timey Tarot decks. This is a card with a heart that's been pierced by swords. This is the Three of Swords, and it appears for most people who are conditioned by one system only that this means broken heart, broken relationship, broken person. I am going to read from the traditional book what this actually originally meant. It's ideas. Sorry, where am I? Sorry, it's learning, bursting enthusiasm for learning and advancing, lessons to learn, following through with a naive spirit. And by naive, they mean a young, curious spirit, as if you've not encountered what it is you're learning before. So this is victorious. It's not a hurting heart. It's heart that's learning through lessons, and sometimes maybe the lessons give us a poke, but this isn't always a card of a broken heart. In fact, it's the advancement of learning. And quick sidebar here, if you think of the Three of Cups, that's three people frolicking together. Three of Pentacles, three people building something together. And the Three of Wands are the successful journey just about finished. This is a positive card, historically. And it's clarified here by a real woo-woo skull boy. I like this guy. I don't think he's shown up or she has shown up in a reading before. His name is Nagaku. And Nagaku is a rock crystal skull with very shiny eyes. He was discovered, or she was discovered, it was discovered in 1938. It covers all 7 chakras. It's a universal healing stone for receiving, emitting, and amplifying. This is referencing the fact that it's rock crystal. Unlocks blocked energies, transmits energy to the body, realigns subtle bodies. A stone that allows the awakening of consciousness. It helps develop concentration, intuition, telepathy, visualization, clairvoyance, and wisdom. And Gina Gorman, I think that Jorge needs to meet Nagaku and learn something from him. He's 4.3 pounds. It is one of the 13 ancient crystal skulls found in caves in the Himalayas near Tibet, where the Dropa tribe lives. It was offered to Hunbat's men of the Mayan people by its discoverer, Dr. Frank Liu. The main quality of this skull is its advanced clairvoyance. And its message is, may the Great Spirit be with you always. All right. What a powerful reading. You can flip the camera, Brian. I have chills. I literally have the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system response to a reading, and I don't often get those. So between last week's reading and this week's reading, this is, to me, the most positive start to a new year that we could have, and it's really glorious. Before I conclude, I'm working away on the rituals course. That's probably not going to happen until early February, but it will happen, and the knowledge that you receive in it will, be useful for the rest of life and for the rest of 2025. So we'll get that information out when it's ready to commit to a date. We thank you for staying with us to the end, and give us a thumbs up. Like and subscribe. We're pushing to we're so close to that 500 mark, where apparently YouTube helps us out a little more to get the message out. We thank you for your support, your financial support that you send. Those that do, we so appreciate that. It's really important to us. We thank you for the coffee, and we wish you well in the beginnings of this early spring. I hope